Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Muhibbullah Wazir. We discuss the clavipectoral fascia. But before we go for the clavipectoral fascia, we revise the anatomy. Look, this is pectoralis major. This is subclavius. This is pectoralis minor. And this is being covered. This is being covered by a thin fascia. A thin fascia. The pectoralis major is being covered by a thick fascia, which is called as D fascia or pectoral fascia, and pectoralis minor is being covered by a thin fascia, which is called as clavipectoral fascia. But before going to that, note this is the anterior axillary fold, and this is the posterior axillary fold, and you know the gap between the two is being filled also by a fascia which is called as axillary fascia. This axillary fascia, it is having this upper surface and lower surface, and then outer that is the hairy skin of the axilla. This is axillary fascia. Okay, now come over here again. You look, this is the clavicle, and this is the subclavius muscle lying in this subclavius groove. Each groove is having two edges or two lips. The muscle lies in this groove. What happens? This clavipectoral fascia, it splits into two like that, and the muscle lies between these two layers, and these two layers are being attached to the lips of this subclavius groove, and the subclavius muscle is being enclosed between the two layers of this clavipectoral fascia. Then at the lower border of the subclavius muscle, the two layers fuse with one another and form a single layer and fill this gap. And then when it reaches to this upper border of pectoralis minor, it again splits into two. One layer passes anterior to this and one layer passes posterior to the pectoralis minor. And at the lower border of pectoralis minor, again the two layers unite with one another to form a single layer, and this single layer, the inferior border of this single layer, is being attached to this superior surface of this axillary fascia. In this way, this part of the clavipectoral fascia that extends from the inferior-lateral border of the pectoralis minor to this upper surface of the axillary fascia, this part is also called as suspensory ligament, and this ligament keep this axillary fascia elevated upward and is responsible for the concavity of the axilla. Okay, in this way, the attachment of the clavipectoral fascia superiorly by two slips to the lips of the subclavius groove and enclosed it is subclavius muscle. Then it splits again around the pectoralis minor and it encloses the pectoralis minor muscle as well. But below the pectoralis minor, again a single layer descend downward to be attached to the upper surface of this axillary fascia, and this part is called a suspensory ligament. Okay, now then you see that this space which is being filled by clavipectoral fascia, it is being pierced by some structures. You can see this is being pierced by some structures. Number one, you look again. This is the clavicle, this is the subclavius muscle. This you can see, this is pectoralis minor, and the thin white fascia, that is this clavipectoral fascia, and this part you can see, this is the suspensory ligament. Then you can see this cephalic vein which lies in the deltopectoral groove. Cephalic vein over here receives many tributaries, and then it pierces through this clavipectoral fascia to enter pierce through the clavipectoral fascia to enter into the axillary vein which lies over here. And then over here are some lymph nodes, infraclavicular lymph nodes, infraclavicular lymph nodes descend lymphatic vessels from this to pass through the claviculaar fascia to enter into the apical nodes of the axilla. So two structures passes from out to in. One is the cephalic vein and one are the lymphatics from the infraclavicular lymph node to the apical group. And then two structures come out from the deep to superficial by piercing through the claviculaar fascia. One is the lateral pectoral nerve, which supplies the pectoralis minor and pectoralis major, and one is a artery. Look, this artery, which you can see over here. This is the the red small artery, thoracoacromial trunk or thoracoacromial artery, which is the branch of axillary artery, and after coming out by piercing through the claviculaar fascia, it divides into four branches. The branches descending downward, pectoral branches, passing toward the clavicular branches, passing toward the deltoid branches, and passing toward the acromial part of the scapula, acromial branches. In this way, the thoracoacromial artery, which is a branch of the axillary artery lies over here in the axilla. The artery comes, pierces through the fascia and divides into pectoral, clavicular, deltoid and acromial branches, or it may be there is the thoracoacromial artery after originating from the axillary, immediately divided into four branches, and these four branches pierces the claviculaar fascia separately. But the point to be noted is that, note that the thoracoacromial trunk is a branch of axillary artery. On axillary artery, along the axillary artery lies the axillary vein. So the vena comitans of these branches of thoracoacromial trunk should also drain into the axillary vein, but it does not. It opens into the cephalic vein superficial to the claviculaar fascia. You can see it over here. Look, these are the branches of thoracoacromial trunk. Look, the deltoid branch, the pectoral branch, the acromial branch, and these are the veins which do not passes through the claviculaar fascia to open into the axillary, but open into the cephalic vein, and the cephalic vein then opens into the axillary vein. Okay, now at this point, you please again note, at this point, you note, look, you note, now you clean the fascia from this area. You clean the fascia from this area, remove the fascia. Now note the part, you will see some structure. Most medially over here, deep to the pectoralis minor, most medially over here, you will see a big vein which is axillary vein. Then later to the axillary vein, over here you will see artery which is axillary artery. And then look the point in this area, just below the clavicle, inferior to the clavicle, in the gap between pectoralis minor and the clavicle, over here, most medially you will see the axillary vein, and then later to that you will see the axillary artery, and lateral and superior to that, that is superior-lateral to that, you will see three cords of the brachial plexus. This one is the medial cord, this one is the lateral cord, and this one is the posterior cord. Or it may be that this medial cord lies behind the artery and the two cord lies superior-lateral. Or it may be that all the three cord lies superior-lateral to the artery. In this way, note the part, axillary vein most medially, axillary artery, and the three cords of brachial plexus. The same, you look over here please. Look, this is the axillary vein which we have cut. Then you can see the axillary artery, and then you can see, look, upper, this the lateral, medial and posterior cord, three cords of brachial plexus are lying superior-laterally. But coming lower down, what happens? Look, this medial cord passes medial to the artery, and the lateral cord passes lateral to the artery, and the posterior cord passes posterior to the artery, lower down. That is, look, in this area, the three artery, vein, artery, and the three cords. Then behind the pectoralis minor over here, what happened? Look, vein is the most medial, and then the artery is being embraced by the three cords like that. Medial cord lies medial to the artery, lateral cord lies lateral to the artery, and posterior cord lies posterior to the artery. Okay, this is all about this region. Thank you very much.